Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Moe, and welcome back to Killer Instinct. Now, massive strides have been made in my skill set over the past week playing Killer Instinct. I've been switching up the characters quite a bit that I've been playing in Exhibition and Ranked, as well as playing some versus CPU against the Killer difficulty and then Kyle. That's the highest difficulty setting you can set the CPU to in Killer Instinct. It's just Kyle. And he's relentless. Combo breaks on the first hit, like every single time, man. He's so brutal. But it's been definitely making me a much more offensive and defensive player. I now have my offensive game and my defensive game are pretty strong, I would say. There's definitely a lot of areas I still need to work on, just making stupid mistakes, whiffs. Still with the controller, I'm so used to playing with an arcade stick from Street Fighter that I'm just overthrowing everything and, doing half circles instead of quarter circles. But I'm understanding, to just be more gentle, to calm down, to not panic when I get intense situations, and I've been rewarded for that. Recently I've been playing Jago, though. I've been having a lot of fun with Jago, actually. He's a character that I just like him as a character, As cheesy as it sounds, as much as I love fantasy characters, like the Khajiit in my Skyrim playthroughs and stuff, I like the sort of classic characters sometimes, like Ryu and Ken, the classic style guys, just something about Jago that's kind of entrancing to me. I just like his character, and I can't wait to see what his character is all about when the story mode gets added into the game. But what I decided to do was hop into some exhibition matches with Jago. My combo breakers are pretty ace now. I still have some trouble reading some of the characters. That's why I've been hopping back and forth to get an idea of what their attacks look like. Thunder is one in particular that I've been playing in versus CPU a bunch to practice combo breakers against, because I have so much trouble reading his lows and his highs. It's all a cluster for me. It's really, really confusing. But I hopped into Exhibition, and you can set the sort of rank variance, so the gap between the ranks that you'll run into, and I just set it to 40. So that means I can get anything from the rank that I'm at to rank 40. And I ran into this rank 8, Slick Shinobi, and I was like, okay, let's do this, It was the first person I found in Exhibition, and we ended up being two very solid Jagos. It made me happy to know, taking on this rank 8, that I could do well, that I could win. They were super close matches. I made mistakes, which, leads me to believe, okay, my strategy is really good. Now, if I just knock out some of these mistakes and some of these whiffs and stop letting myself be punished so hard, I have a pretty solid Jago I'm building here, and I've really just been enjoying the game a lot more. I've been able to kind of just relax lately, just calm down. I just was getting really on edge because I would be getting pushed back to rank 1, all the way down to Button Masher, then fighting my way back up to 4, and just so many inconsistencies, and a lot of it had to do with just not really actually understanding how the combo breaker system works. So I went back into the dojo, because I haven't been there since, the day the game came out, and really understood things, really practiced, and my combo breakers are just, boom, they're there. And so now I'm working on things like my mix-up game. You'll see in this match a couple times, I believe I win the first one, he wins the second one, I win the third one, he wins the fourth one. So it was a nice back and forth. But at this level, this is where KI is at its best. It's more of a thinking man's game at this point. It's less of, hey, I'm going to do a 50 million point, 75% damage combo because the other person has no idea how to combo break. No, we both know how to break combos. We both can consistently land combo breakers. So now it's about, how do you outsmart the person? How do you bait them into canceling for a combo breaker? That's what he just did there. He canceled because he thought I was going to combo break. So he wanted to prevent me from basically combo breaking that. So he canceled. Well, it turns out I didn't, so I laid some more damage into him. It's this back and forth. It's like this game of chess going on while you're playing a fighting game. It's super rewarding when you bait somebody, or when you just you tricked them, you fooled them. You just pull off this sick piece of just tack, and you're just like, boom! Oh, did you see that? He thought I was going for that, and I did this. It's really, really rewarding and really satisfying. And these were some genuinely amazing matches I had with this guy. That's why I wanted to share them with you. I know they're not ranked. But they were just so much fun. I learned so much from playing with this guy. One of the big things I learned, actually, was that he was not mixing up his game at all. He was all about mediums. I think maybe I had to break one heavy on him, and it was pretty much when he was going into, he was using heavy laser sword towards the end of his combos, and a couple times in Shadow, when he was using heavy laser sword, Shadow, obviously, just breaking his Shadow counters. But he was just throwing mediums, constantly throwing mediums, so I was able to combo break him. He really wasn't mixing it up enough, and I think that was his downfall a lot of the time. And, I definitely gave him some free damage several times throughout a couple of these fights, whiffing pretty hard, jumping in front of him, exposing myself like an idiot, screwing up wind kicks, and just misjudgment. One of the strategies I like to employ with both Glacius and Jago, with Glacius forward dash and Jago's wind kick, is to just sometimes be relentless if you have to. So here's the second match. He took this one here. But to be relentless, to keep them off guard. Not a lot of people expect you to full-on assault. So once in a while I'll lay into a combo, you know, and I'll do a wall bounce, initiate a bounce essentially without the wall being there. That'll kick him into the distance, and then boom, right into another heavy wind kick, which is going to send me flying back into him, try and catch him off guard. Again, you know, it's just mixing it up is really a big part of being effective in KI. You got to keep the other player guessing constantly. What is he going to do? You know, is he going to jump here? Is he going to cancel? What is he going to throw? You want to keep them on their toes because that's going to allow you to get the most opportunities to punish and to really lay extra damage into them. So you can see here, he was really not that good at combo breaking. He was really poor at judging. And I was doing a halfway decent job, I would say, of doing some mix-ups. It's definitely something I need to work on. I'm not throwing nearly enough heavy auto doubles in matches. I'm relying way too much on mediums, which people can read that. You know, you start to see a medium, especially with Jago. I think mediums with Jago are super easy to read. Mediums in general are super easy to read. I'm not sure if that's how they're supposed to be, but for me anyways, they're just something I immediately recognize. Probably because I throw way too many of them. One of the nice features in KI is they have this extensive stat page system that you can look at that tells you how many manuals you've thrown, how many auto doubles of each type, how many, you know, heavies, mediums, lights. And I've been studying that like crazy, really looking at what I'm throwing too much of, you know, using that to help mix up my game, understanding when I'm doing too many things, you know, where am I being punished, where am I taking the most amount of damage, when am I taking the most amount of damage, and I've been trying to learn from all that. It's really turned into a sort of it's turned into like a class, you know, an actual physical learning experience like you would go to school for. And that's what fighting games are supposed to be about. You know, they are extremely complex at higher levels. They require a lot of thought, a lot of skill, and a lot of practice, and a lot of learning. And that's what I'm trying to do here. That is really what I'm trying to do here. You know, focusing on using instinct, and the game has just become so much more fun all of a sudden. It really genuinely has. I've been really addicted to playing it. I mean, last night it was 3 in the morning. I finally got my Skyrim video up and rendering, and that had like 4 hours to go. So I could have just went to bed at that point, but I needed one more. I was like, just one more fight. Just give me one more fight. I just want one more fight. Oh man, I'm loving Jago. I think I'm gonna keep playing with Jago for a little bit longer. You know, I've definitely been bouncing around inside of ranked CPU or versus CPU with the other characters. I still really need to practice on Thunder, as I said. Thunder is someone I'm having trouble reading still. He's just I can't. It's still just kind of a mishmash to me. You don't see that many Thunders online is one issue. I didn't spend that much time playing him, so I'm gonna spend some time playing him against the CPU and playing against him with my Jago, and sort of just messing around, understanding, you know, what his mediums look like, what his heavies look like, what his lights look like, you know, breaking his shadows and stuff like that. And in general, the CPU is actually a pretty good tool to practice because they can be extremely brutal in the amount of combo breakers they land, the accuracy of their combo breakers. If you set it to Killer, which is the second highest difficulty, there's only Kyle after that. Interestingly named Kyle. I'm not really sure what's that up. That's got to be some kind of inside Killer Instinct joke, or, you know, inside Double Helix joke. But they are brutal. They always land combo breakers. I mean, you have to really mix it up, and it's a nice training tool, you know, to understand. If you can think that way when you play against someone who maybe can't understand your mix-up game as much, and then, you know, start to read them, understand what they can read, what they can't read, and just really screw with their head, you're gonna start to do a ton of damage very quickly, and it's gonna help you. It's gonna help you win. It's gonna help you be effective on the battleground, so to speak. Now, I plan on following Killer Instinct all the way through 2014, guys. We have the rest of our Season 1 content supposed to be releasing over the next several months. Starting this month, January, we don't have a set release date yet, but we're supposed to see the return of Spinal, one of the original Killer Instinct characters. He's basically a skeleton, sort of Pirates of the Caribbean style. I'm really interested to see because apparently he used to have a teleport attack as well as a morph attack that allowed him to morph into other fighters. So, you know, it's really up to Double Helix to balance those characters, decide what kind of abilities they're actually going to have when they come into the full game. And I'm really, really interested to see what he's all about. Then moving into March, we're going to have Fulgore, which is I believe a returning boss character from the story. And of course, we're also going to be seeing the introduction of the story mode, as well as I think we're going to be, you know, the arcade mode, a classic arcade mode. I think that's kind of the story mode is going to be more so that, you know, as well as maybe even more arenas. I'm not really sure what else is planned. You know, I know right now for Season 1 it's just the 2 characters and, you know, the addition of the other game modes like story mode. So a lot of us are really excited for that. I'm excited for that because I think the characters inside of Killer Instinct are some of the most interesting fighting game characters around, and I really want to see what each of their stories is all about. Who the hell is Ultratech? You know, she's always talking about Ultratech, and what's up with Jago, man? You know, is he a monk? Is he a punk? I really can't tell the difference. But that's going to do it for Killer Instinct this week, guys. It's been Tony Mo, and I'll see you in the dojo.
I'm afraid your path ends here.